What's up, everybody? Welcome to Advisors Lodge, a podcast for all financial advisors out there.
We are your hosts, Roger Ling,
Edward Pai.
and join us as we chat with industry experts to get the best advisor tips and ideas.
Welcome to the 5th episode of Advisor Lodge. If you notice, we are in a different environment. It's a little bit different today. We're coming to you from IFAST TV studio, and we are very excited because we have leveled up. So we level our game, and subsequent seasons we will be recording here. So I'm very excited about this. I hope you are, to enjoy the fresh look as well. So let us jump straight into the session itself. Today's topic is very interesting and very riveting as well. Do you know that Singapore ranks as the 4th wealthiest city in the world? And with the wealth on the rise, more Singaporeans are looking to make their money, work even harder for them. But our topic today is how can advisors, craft the perfect solutions for these affluent clients? And to help us, delve into this, we have a true legend here today in the studio. He has 23 years of experience in both wealth and asset management. And today he's actually leading a team managing about, 400 saying in terms of AUA. And today we want to welcome that person, and he's actually Stanley Ong, right? So he's the investment advisory team director at IFAST Global Markets. Welcome, Stanley.
Thank you, Edward. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, okay.
Welcome.
Stanley, today we are going to cover some ground. Okay?
Sure.
I've actually mentioned earlier we're going to talk about the affluent clients. So when we talk about affluent clients, I think, we have been hearing a lot of interesting abbreviations like Henry, high earners, not rich yet. You have DINKs, dual income, no kids, very common nowadays. So when these kind of affluent or different type of affluent clients come to you and, consult you, what are they looking for, in an advisor, or maybe you want to share your experience with us? Yeah.
Sure, thank you for your question.
Yeah.
Would you believe it if I say that everybody possesses different vibes and energy in that sense?
Definitely.
And this, in turn, your energy will most probably attract different types of clients or friends also for that matter. Mm-hmm. So, for example, if someone keeps talking about fundamentals in terms of theory, then by naturally this will attract certain types of clients who are also have the same belief. Naturally, if there is someone who is also interested in technical aspects, then of course they will be naturally attracted by the technical portions. For example, price action, technical analysis, so on and so forth. Maybe one more thing I can add in is also it's important to understand and actually care for the customer. Perhaps you may know a lot of things initially, but for the first meeting with a client, you may not want to say that, I know everything, but actually understand and care for the customer. Let me give you an example. Just a couple of years ago, I was with a bunch of Taukeis, and they were at the Kaki Bukit Industrial Park, and they invited me for coffee. And we had coffee and we had a good lunch together, and they invited me for the second round. It turns out that they have a monthly session. And every day at 4 p.m. they will come down for coffee. So the first session, tea break time, yes. First session I was invited. I didn't know what to say, but I just came along. Then after the second session, the third session, they invited me along, and I understand more about the businesses. After understanding more about the businesses, then I realized that they started asking me for the contact and invited me to the office to have a more in-depth discussion about how potentially I can help them with the business. Maybe one more point I'd like to add in is actually freedom of time, actually. Because all these people are generally quite busy in nature. They will have their own businesses to manage. They might be managing their investments. They might be managing their role as a C-level, perhaps. So I think that the most important thing that I can do is to actually free up their time in that sense by helping them with their investments.
Yeah, I think you make a lot of points there. Like for myself, if I'm finding my advisor is someone that I like to enjoy, talking about macro environment, not really on the technical part of things. So you're right, different kind of energy. When you resonate with advisors, there's a lot more to say. So I guess, one thing they say is that the bird of the I mean,
Same feather,
flock
flock
together.
together.
Right?
Yeah.
It is exactly what you have mentioned. So I agree with you. Yeah.
So I guess to maybe just round out on this point is that instead of what the clients are looking for, I guess it's more from the advisor standpoint. What do you stand for? There are, of course, there are advisors out there. They are very keen on technicals, and like you said, naturally, these advisors will gravitate towards clients that are more inclined towards the technicals, and they probably they are chartists or whatnot that they are very interested in. And then of course there are advisors that, let's say, you are there to care for what they really what they are really planning for. And I think that helps because, like you said, you will be invited to their kopi session every 4 p.m. on a monthly basis.
I try not to make it daily.
But I think this means that they also trust you to
Yep,
bring
yep.
you into their inner
You belong
circle.
to the inner circle now.
Yeah, it's very interesting because it started off with 1 or 2 taukeis, and then
Right.
after
Yep.
that, 3 or 4 more. So I think I like to thank them for introducing, and then they say as more of them gather, then we have a table of 10, and all of them are from different businesses, but they all stay in Kaki Bukit.
So as we talk along, as we share along, and I mean, thanks for sharing a little bit in terms of what the clients are looking for. So we do understand that these clients, they have very unique needs coming along. Some of them are, like you said, wanting somebody to free up their time so they can focus on their day-to-day jobs. But at the same time, they may have certain needs that come on to come along as well. Because besides the investments part of things, besides being their advisor, I guess they also want a friend of sort to be there to share with them and to help them along the way as well. So probably, do you have any experiences or anything that you could share in terms of how do you actually meet some of the clients that you have encountered with, and probably some of the unique needs that you have come across as well?
Thank you, Roger. I'm not too sure whether I come across as a friend, but I like to think of it as maybe a coach or someone who can assist them with it. And of course, if the relationship broadens, then you can be a friend or a drinking buddy or something like that.
Wealth coach. That'll be
Perhaps.
good. That'll be great.
I think of myself as a client. If I'm a client, what is important to me? Perhaps this might be something interesting to you.
Right.
What is your number for a good passive income? Okay, so for example, maybe I can ask Roger back. Have you ever given any thought about what is the correct number for you as a client? What is your number for passive income? Which means to say you're not going to work anymore. You're working for passion.
Working for passion.
And then what is a desired income per month coming in?
Desired income per month. I guess it goes back to what is the lifestyle you are desiring for.
Yes, that's true.
So I always share that my lifestyle is pretty simple. I will dine at hawker centers. I will chase the latest food trends along the hawker
Kopi or
centers.
siu tai kao or something like that.
Okay, I have a little bit of expensive taste for coffee.
There you go.
I'll be direct. I'm direct.
The truth is coming, really.
But I like simple and hawker food because that's where I grew up as well.
Sure.
So I don't really have a number in place. Usually the numbers I have in mind are your 4D numbers and all that.
Okay, 40 numbers.
Okay, I can
yeah,
vouch for that. Every day
so
he's telling
so
me
I'm
numbers.
thinking about that rather than what's my passive
Must
income.
buy, then got chance. Right?
Exactly.
Don't buy, no
Yeah,
chance,
yeah,
right?
That's right. So I mean I hear you. I think that's quite interesting to get them to really understand what exactly they're looking for, and that's where probably you can address their needs as well.
So I will share about my aspirations to them. Typically, I will tell them that for me, I will most probably, I've given some thought about it. I'm not too sure. Maybe you can give me some suggestions. For me, a 20K passive income is comfortable for me in that sense per month.
Yep.
So I will work towards getting the recurring income of 20K. And the reason is because my dad and mom are still around, and I like for them to have a chance to go overseas with them. I like to be able to give back to them in a sense, since young they take care of us from education. So this is the time for me to give back. Cannot give 500, right? Now inflation, right?
Yes,
Kopi also more
yes,
than that.
yeah.
So maybe a couple of thousand. My wife is working as a nurse. She's pretty good in what she does. She's been working as a nurse manager for about 10, 20 years.
Wow.
But the thing is, she is not financially strong. So not financially
So
strong,
you're the
how?
CFO now.
So bo pian, right? Then I have to take on this extra burden, right? And then I will want to set aside a certain portion of money. I have a dream to travel to one short destination a year and a little bit longer in that sense. So I need to cater for 20K in that sense. So by sharing this story with my clients, right, I hope it inspires them to start thinking about their challenges and really, if and when they do retire, what is a comfortable amount that they should be looking at. And then we can continue to explore how we can continue to enhance their wealth towards this wealth journey together in that sense.
I think it's a very good way to come across to client, because I'm sure everybody actually has a number. Even though he don't say, I think he has a
Maybe
number.
I should ask you, what's your number?
No, actually, my number is
Besides your
about,
4D number.
No, I do have a number. So my goal is probably, if I'm not working today, 15,000 is actually a good month for every month.
15,000 sounds good.
Yeah. So because
1500.
15,000 Sing or 15,000 euros?
Sing. Let's talk about Sing.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I still have mortgage, to pay. I still have kids. But for me, a little bit different. Every quarter, I want to travel. So I think that amount will come up. But of course, you also have to factor in inflation every year. So I would think 15 to 18,000. That's good amount, right? So
I think we can help you with that.
yes.
After that, we have
So
coffee,
later after this,
have a new
new
coffee,
client already. So we have
sign up. Please sign up
But
after
you
the show.
guys are the expert in asset management. I should be talking more to you. Another thing that I want to add in is actually, I think when it comes to affluent clients, it's very important to have a team approach.
right.
Yeah.
Often, I think whether I should want to specialize in certain things or whether I want to generalize. And I realize that life is fair. We only have 24 hours a day. So no matter how much you cut and dice it, this is it. You cannot borrow more or whatever. So let's say, for example, if I really am keen and passionate about investments, so I deep dive into investments in that sense.
True.
So I want to come across to the client as someone who is able to specialize in investments per se.
Right.
But then life is not just about investments,
Investments,
right?
Yeah,
If that's the
yeah.
case, it's so boring, right? What about
Correct.
risk management in that
Yes,
sense?
yes.
For all my friends who know me, I'm not so strong in risk management, which is insurance. Therefore, I come up with a team approach. So what happens is that I'll refer this particular client to my colleague who specializes in insurance or risk management for that matter. Yeah,
I think that's good.
Something like a private banking model whereby you hold the relationship with the client, and as and when the client needs information on, for example, bonds, they'll bring in the bond specialist to come along. If they want to know more about UOB asset management, then I'll bring you guys along. So it's something like
We'll be more than happy to share.
it's something like a team approach in that sense. Yes.
Correct. I think, that brings us to the next question, right? Affluent clients, are they looking for a special type of investment, or are they like any other, clients out there, they are conservative, whatnot, and this. So what type of investment are you recommending to these affluent clients?
You see, there are many different type of clients, right?
Right.
The first type of clients, the first question I'll ask is, how did you make your first buck? How did you make your first pot of gold? Makes sense, right?
Correct.
So if you are a person who made your first pot of gold in property, for example, typically your mindset and your character, your personality is, I made my first pot of gold in property, I will continue on and on and on. You might know friends who die and breathe by it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
There might be another group of clients who make their first pot of gold from the businesses.
Yes.
Yes.
And they say that, I work hard for it and I built my businesses and everything goes back into the business because this is the best investment that I have. For example, Changchun, right?
Yes, of
Perhaps,
course.
perhaps, yes.
agree.
Well, business owners, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Then there might be another category of clients for that matter. There might be salary earners, or they might be of a certain level. They work hard for the money, and then they invest also properly through the different asset allocations. So I think it's very important to understand the mindset. But when you understand them better, you realize that all of them might not one size fit all. Generally speaking, there might be a tailored solution, a customized solution. So I think this is where we add value in customizing this. The percentage will need to be tweaked.
Of course.
For example, for someone who is already 70 plus years old, perhaps a certain portion more towards cash or cash equivalents. But for someone who is in his 30s, they might be able to take on a little bit more risk in that sense. So
I see. I think that's a good point. I think talking about you dissect and then you segmentize your client's profile and all that, that helps, because that also gives you a sense of in terms of what their mindset is when it comes to investing. How do they actually grow their wealth, like you mentioned, and that gives you a little bit of their character when it comes to handling stress, risk, especially when markets are down. And I think that probably have some elements to that as well. So I think that also nicely lead up to the next question, whereby what are some of the strategies that your team and yourself actually help to attract. And probably I think the key point here is about to keep all these clients, because like you mentioned, one is, I think at the start we talk about how different profile clients and what you stand for, the clients will actually gravitate towards you. And from there, that's where we recommend and suggest, because of what they have come through in terms of their business life and all that. So by understanding the client that well, and like a coach to them,
Right.
I guess what are the I mean, I know probably this is your secret sauce, but if you could share a little bit in terms of what are the strategies that you are using to attract and to keep some of these high net worth clients as well. Yeah.
No secret sauce is okay. So happy to share. I will answer your question is how to attract the clients.
Sure.
Right.
And then I think after attracting the clients, there is a certain manner in which you want to maintain the clients, because sometimes there's a difference between a hunter and a farmer.
Yes.
Correct.
Some advisors are very good at hunting.
Yep.
But after the hunting, they need to do servicing in that sense. Some of us are good at farming.
Yes.
But we may not be good at hunting in that
Right,
sense.
right.
So for me, I don't know whether I'm good at
You are
hunting or
both.
farming.
Both,
so
both.
I'll just
think
try
of
my
all
best.
tricks.
I'll just try my best. I think the important thing, rather than to conform to how to attract clients, is rather to understand more about yourself.
Correct.
For example, I ask myself what kind of hobbies or things am I passionate about. Then for me, I don't have a car.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't buy expensive watches. I don't have landed property. I don't have country club. Very boring, just like some of my friends. But I like to eat.
Oh.
I like to drink wine in moderation. So perhaps I'm thinking to myself, is there a way that I can host certain events over food? Because Singapore, right, the food is what gels everybody together,
That's
right?
true,
After
that's
you eat
true,
already,
true,
then
yeah,
you feel a little bit happy, then we start talking. I like to connect people with each other. So recently we had a durian party.
Oh, that's
That was a couple of days ago at North Bridge Road. Not too bad. Aircon place. So later you can find out. So there was this fellow friend who is also one of the director. And there's another person who is also another director. And they all have common concerns. So basically what I did was I connect them to each other in that sense.
Okay,
So maybe a little bit capo, but I thought that if you can pay it forward and get like-minded people to understand more, then perhaps I will have added value to their businesses in that sense. Yeah, so
That's a good way
Yeah.
by using something which is our common knowledge in Singapore, which is food.
Yeah.
And everybody gravitates towards it as well. I think that's and I think that the key point here is about, I think you mentioned it very well, whereby it's not about the strategies, about what you need to do to attract the clients, but really more of where are your interests, where as an advisor, what are some of the key passions that you have, and then from there, to leverage it up. And I think it's more of, if you are in a very comfortable environment and surrounding and doing something that you like the most, then I think that's where it's easy to attract and to be yourself when you speak to some of this.
you hit the nail on the spot about the passion. So if you have the passion for it, you don't really think that it's working.
Yeah.
But if you are something that goes against your personality, and then you feel like, I want to attract a certain type of clients, and this certain type of clients are have country club, then it's very difficult to fit in. Rather work with something. Maybe I can share with you a story. I used to have an RM in Stan Chart, and his passion is on cars.
Wow.
I see.
So he really saved, invested, and borrowed a little bit to get his dream car. His dream car is a Jaguar. Then I said, hey, why you want Jaguar? He said, no, I like it. Jaguar, no use. Singapore, you cannot race. But he said, you like it. Okay, fine. Then I said, what are you going to do about it? He said, maybe after this, then I know all the Jaguar friends. All the Jaguar friends, right? Then we have a commonality, something common in interest, right?
Yeah.
Something passionate, and then we can move on to better things in life. And then, by the way, perhaps talk about investments. By the way, talk about something else. But this is the commonality that
I see.
that holds them together.
Okay.
Using your passion and your strength,
Yeah,
leveraging
so
on it.
if
and-
the passion is coffee or beer, then
Quite a big investment. To get the kind of car, yes. But back then, probably COE prices are cheaper.
how do we maintain the clients? I guess one good thing is maybe top of the mind.
Yep.
So maybe Edward, if I were to ask you a slogan, I want you to tell me what are the things that come straight to your mind. For example, finger licking good.
KFC.
Okay. You look like just do it.
Nike?
How about diamond is forever?
James Bond.
You said James Bond?
Yes, or
Diamonds
maybe
are forever, I think.
yeah. Perhaps I was looking for De Beers.
yeah,
but it's okay.
Very brand and all that.
Yeah. So I mean, these are the certain things that when we say immediately, we come top of the mind in that sense.
Yeah.
But we are not Nike, advisors. We are not KFC.
Right.
Yes.
We are not De Beers. We don't need 1,000 clients. I just need to have my own flock of sheep, maybe 100 flock of sheep, and then I can shepherd them to greener pastures in that sense. So the question is, how do we be top of the mind? I just was reading the same survey that you mentioned. Singapore has about maybe 200 to 300,000 millionaires. I guess a large portion would be in property in that sense.
Yeah. Presumably.
Perhaps there might be another 20,000 to 30,000 financial advisors, inclusive of relationship managers in your retail banks and your private banks. Add another some numbers for our insurance agents. You have about 20, 30,000. So if you do the maths, 300,000 divided by 20 to 30,000, this would mean to say that if we really average it out, one advisor might have 10 clients.
Yep.
So then again, the question is, how do we maintain this kind of relationship? So I asked myself this question: why do I keep going back to the same restaurant? Why do you go back to the same restaurant?
Yes, I do.
And why is that so?
I'm a creature of habits.
Which
So,
restaurant do you go to?
which restaurants do I go to?
Now we're probing a little
Now
bit.
probing, make sure whether he really
Your
got go
local
back.
Chinese restaurants. So take for example, Ding Tai Fung is one of them that
Okay,
I
I
always
like
go
it.
to.
Yes.
The very simple fact is because the food is nice, it's
Yeah.
decent,
Okay.
and they have the food that my kids like as well.
Okay.
And to me, it's fast free, so it is very clear cut. I just want the meal time with the kids and the family is as easy as comfortable as it can be. So going there, that's the main point.
Right.
And I know what are the food to order so that they can have their fair share, they like it, then move on from there. Probably in an hour, once we are done with the meals, we can carry on from there. So yes, I mean, so the top of the mind that comes to me when I want to go to any malls, first thing I'll see, is there Ding Tai Fung over there? Okay, let's just settle our dinner over there and all that. So that I mean, naturally comes to me from that point of view.
So you go to Ding Tai Fung because creatures of habit,
Yes.
top of the mind, you know the food items on the menu,
Yep.
Service is respectable,
Yeah, it is.
the prices are reasonable,
Yes,
it's value for money, and then after that you can move on to your other more
Correct,
important things in life.
Yep.
For me, it's quite similar. Food must be okay in that sense.
Right.
The service must be good. It would be nice if the waiter or the manager knows that I have certain peculiar habits. For example,
Dietary preferences and all that.
Yeah, I need the red chili with the black sauce. Then I need some garlic. Yeah, that kind of
red
stuff.
chili.
All these things comes into place. The question is, how do we be on top of the mind? So I guess for me, it is through high touch. In that sense, sometimes you don't really have to meet up every time per se with your friends or your clients.
Yes.
But every time a certain event has happened, like recently, for example, the markets were a bit whipsaw in that sense. Maybe just drop them a line and find out how they are doing.
Yep.
Perhaps once in a while, makan with them in that
Yes.
sense. Yeah, I think that's important because this is how I like to be treated. So I guess I'll do the same lah.
Yeah.
And hopefully the energy will attract to more similar like-minded people in that sense.
True. I think this is also a good way to, always keep in touch. Always show that, you care, especially times like, like what happened recently in the past couple of days. a one-liner could just assure your clients like, hey, this is okay, Yeah, things move like that, but let's look at the longer-term picture, let's stay true to your
Don't sweat the
investment
small
objective.
stuff.
Yes,
There are a
yes,
lot of noises in the market.
Exactly. So it's a constant reminder, which is actually a nice touch to it as well. Because sometimes, we are so busy, we see the headline and we're like, oh, it just jump scare you sometimes. But at the end of the day, things will naturally go back to normal, right? So I think these are really very insightful things that you share, especially for the affluent clients. They have a little bit of different touch to some of the mass clients out there. So it's very nice to hear, from you, especially. So I really like to thank you for coming to this episode. And
My pleasure.
We are very happy to be in IFAST studio as well.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for us
Yes.
to be here for this special episode and going forth as well, some of the coming up episodes as well. But I guess end of the day, when it comes to the high net worth, like what you pointed out, the way to handle and to attract and to maintain the clients is not really a science, but really is an art. I'll put it in that way. And probably that's how your team has been doing well. So we really wish you and the team all the best as well in terms of this group of clients as well.
Thank you. For all the advisors out there listening to us, I'm still learning also, and I hope that if you have any other pointers, please do reach out to Roger.
Thank you.
Please
Thank
reach
you.
out to Edward. Please reach
Thank
out to
you.
Maybe
Yes,
we can
yes,
have
yes.
we
can have coffee and,
Coffee, beer, wine.
whatever.
We don't do it at Kakibuki.
and dive deeper into it. in that sense.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So thank you, Stanley, for your time today. And
Pleasure's mine. Yeah.
To everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Advisors Lodge, brought to you by UOB Asset Management and also IFAST TV as well.
So if you love this podcast, please drop us a comment below. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.